Um, so I don't know. I feel like I saw some changing colors, but there's just so much evergreen forest. Like when I look out here, I think there's so much pine trees.
Uh-huh. So you,
That you don't really see that.
yeah, yeah. My bike went down in my driveway just because of the slippery leaves that
Oh boy.
I was coming to a stop and the back wheel just slid out from under me, yeah. And so,
Wow.
be careful
Okay.
of if you do come to any patches with a lot of leaves on the ground, they're super slippery. Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I was wondering about flipping yesterday because I'm near Mount Shasta and I went all the way up to the top. So there's this winding road all the way up to the top, and there was yeah, there's just like a lot of debris on the road. I guess mostly like dirt and dust, but it was kind of like caked on some of the parts of the road, and I was wondering about that. But yeah, so far so good. I mean, I've gone down. I think 6 times. I've counting
Uh-huh.
the amount, but it's really been almost all or mostly dirt and sand when it goes down. The last time was in the national forest, but it was on this other side, and I thought it was okay. I was just going in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna like turn around, and it is like kind of off road, even if it's on one of these forest roads. And then just as I was turning around, it's like the part that wasn't in the center of the road was all sand, but you couldn't quite see it. And yeah, just like that's it. Go down. Yeah. Um, but yeah, let's be intense. It's great that we have these folks here. It looks like Ronnie and Marvin are also here, so that's really nice to have you all with us. Um, so we'll start by setting healing intention for each of ourselves for today. So
Oh yeah. Sorry to interrupt
yeah,
you. Let's send out some healing to Josh Walter Ding in
okay.
Australia. He's got long COVID. Um,
Oh boy. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, let's definitely do that.
and also to Tina Holmes, who is um, having age-related um, dementia and so on. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
thanks.
Sure. So having them in mind, I'll keep them in mind in the rest of the meditation as well. Wow. And yeah, and for those of us here, yeah, you're now in the call, healing intentions, things you're working on, either physical or mental, emotional, spiritual, other things people are interested in working on. So yeah, so people can join in if they're interested to mention intentions that they have to work on today. So things that you might like feel could be as simple as a backache, or it could be some specific emotional or spiritual block um, that you're working through. And I guess I'll go first. I'm working on reducing the ego, and you may hear something behind me. I'm in a pilot station to get a little bit warm over here. Pilot's a brand of a gas station, but yeah, my intention, I'm working kind of like the voice of the ego, but it's really a lot more subtle. It can even be a narrator, just like saying what's going on. And then from there, it can move into the typical thinking that it does. So that's my intention, is to create even more distance, ideally to shut it down, um, but to really fully fully and completely and permanently separate from it, like absolutely, absolutely entirely. So I can really free my awareness and attention. So that's the intention that I'm bringing into this, to ask for all the support that we're going to bring through, energy wise, as well as my own intention and efforts to forge that distance in an ever increasing way. And if others would like to share their intention, what they'd like to work on, they're more than welcome.
I'd like to extend my love, expand my love for people um, and God's good creation, um, and to eliminate my sarcasm uh,
Hmm.
and one of my main ego voices is always is explaining things, explaining, and I would like to just drop that.
Hmm. Okay, like explaining to yourself or explaining to other people.
It's just going on in my mind, like uh, explaining to others, um, or I'll mentally, explain uh, uh, my process or how to do stuff. It's just a very strong kind of ego voice of over explaining, I think, Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, and what would be an example? Like what type of, because I have like, I think I have like a lot of similar things, but maybe yours is different. So I'm wondering, so like what kind of example, like what kind of pattern, um, would it be? And so for myself, I find like there's patterns and there's like typical sequences. So even though the situation changes, like kind of how the pattern is going and is similar. So for you, like what's the pattern like? And it could be a hypothetical example and like what the mind would do.
Well, for instance, I'll, I'll have a voice explaining um, in my head what's the best way of grinding the coffee, and I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's a waste of energy or something uh, that I would be um, uh, better to just not have that the energy going out into explaining.
Okay, so it's like this is how we're gonna grind it. It needs to be ground. We're gonna get fine grains. Like what are we talking about? Like what
Yeah.
would it say?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. Like I have uh, uh, I grind it in my burr grinder first, and then I
Hmm.
take that ground coffee and grind it even further in another grinder
Wow.
that gets it really, really fine, like for Turkish coffee, where you
Okay.
boil boil it, and it's more like hot chocolate than coffee.
Interesting. Wow. Okay. And if the mind comes in, then what would it say? What advice? Uh,
Um, mm, I'm not following what you're asking.
like the kind of explaining or thinking that the mind is doing, so in this context of coffee, what would your mind be saying about it?
Well, just that uh, i- if if you feel the grounds in your mouth, if I feel the grounds in my mouth, uh, um, I know I haven't grinded it thoroughly enough because
Hmm.
the bits of the coffee bean are too big. Um, and it's kind of not pleasant, having coffee grounds in your mouth. I don't know if you, uh, it doesn't happen much with uh, the American style coffee, but happens with Turkish
I got
coffee.
it, yeah. So it's basically it's taking issue with the situation. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, it doesn't seem so bad, but yeah, it's like the root of it. Yeah, it's like the mind is going, and my mind too. It'll find like the opposite of the silver lining. So it'll find the dark cloud. It'll take some issue with any situation, even if there's plenty of positives about it. So that's something that that doesn't need to be there. Just takes attention, energy, and we want to be in reaching more of a pure awareness where our awareness is detached from any kind of thought process, and then we can either feel what's going on in the body, or eventually we can shift our attention to other things that are just more other experiences that are more interesting. So I've come to realize that all this thinking, if it's about what's not the best in a situation, or or anything else, it's a distraction for attention that's just pulling my awareness into where I don't want it to be. So so that's perfect. So I think we have some aligned intentions to, and the other thing I've realized is that all of that thinking, it's kind of coming from the voice of the personality, um, or the ego. Um, Even if it seems like it's something just descriptive, like describing what's going on, ultimately that ties into the more negative thinking as well. So it's kind of like the ego. It starts off small with something that kind of seems normal and innocuous, and then it winds up complaining about it being cold outside or something like that. Um, or even worse, he knows where it's going to go. But I think so one thing is the content. If it's negative content, then that's negative emotions. But then the other thing, and that might even be a bigger problem, is just to drain on attention. So just having any of these thoughts going on, it's just a drain of attention.
Exactly. That it's okay to have a thought, but I'm saying to myself, don't follow it. Don't um, let the thought go, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Be able to let it go. Um, and then so definitely not fall like that. That's like a huge step, and that's where I am too. Right, getting better at the not falling. Um, but then ultimately being able to shut it off, and um, that's where I want to go. Is just to be able to turn it off. Because I do believe that as free will beings, we have we have the free will to choose if we want to be in the mind or not. Um, it's just something that's proven very very challenging to get to those kind of states. Um, so let's do some meditation. Let's work on this. We can. Um, well, I think I'm going to take my glasses off. Um, we'll start with some. We'll start with some breathing, some deep breathing, um, some inhales and exhales, um, and we won't have a break between the breaths. So it'll be deep inhale, deep exhale, deep inhale, deep exhale, complete inhales and complete exhales, raising the oxygen level in our system. And we'll continue that for about 3 minutes, and that should alter the brain activity somewhat. So let's begin. So breathe in, breathe out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. And if you did just eat lunch, then it's not the time to do this particular exercise. But if not, and it feels comfortable for you to do that, then it's breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and out. In, 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 out. Let's keep doing it. Okay.
Shower guest 45, your shower is now ready. Please proceed to shower. Shower guest 26, your shower is now ready. Please proceed to shower 5. Shower guest, please your shower is now ready. Please
So
proceed to
now
shower.
flow directly into our meditation, and we will keep going into meditation. Okay, so bring us back to our intention to distance ourselves from these thought processes. And we can keep our eyes closed. I just moved outside. There's some background music, and it's better out here with the fresh air and without any of that, without any music kind of going into further get those thoughts leave your program further. And we'll continue with a mild focus on the breath. I think what we want to do is we want to try to wake up something inside ourselves that's stronger than the thinking. then if I get distracted, you can bring my attention back to the breath. I'll bring my attention also back to the intention as well to create that distance. So, my mind has, again, gone astray as it so often does just after the mundane, very routine issues that that are happening in the day to day, and reminding myself that even though there are things that have to be addressed, they don't have to be addressed right now. And if they are going to be addressed, they're not going to best be addressed by the mind going on right now. So make that separation from those thoughts. Again, I caught myself thinking, so I'll go back and make that separation, create that distance. I'm kind of putting attention on the breath and bringing my awareness at first just into the headspace to catch any thoughts that might be wrapping up again. And I'm going to try to feel if I feel any thought moving around up there, and not go into it if I do. And if I do feel thought coming, I'm going to try to feel it on the level of the emotions and the sensations in the chest, rather than getting into what that thought might actually be about from a mental content perspective. So trying to get it on the sensation level instead of the thought level. sometimes I do use kind of like a root word, which is sort of maybe it's sort of like a mantra, but it's not really because you don't continuously repeat it. But if you have a powerful word, um, it could be Baba's name or it could be something else, but something that kind of gives you strength to keep those thoughts at bay for a little bit longer. That's something also you can say internally as you kind of catch yourself and then come back to the state of presence. Okay, excellent. So we will slowly begin to come out of meditation and as we do this, I'll show where we are relative to our mountain over here. At the base of the mountain.
Beautiful. Looks like a volcano.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Mount Shasta is volcanic. It's a volcano,
Mm.
and I've done a little bit of exploring of the lava tubes around here. So there's like I don't know when the last time it erupted is, but there's some pretty fresh looking lava. Um, and yeah, so yeah, it's volcanic.
Mm.
Yeah, volcanic earth and everything around here. How was it for you, Jen?
It was good. It's good to. Uh, this is the only time of the week that I more or less where um, um, I'm content to just be aware and I can leave my lists, my to-do lists.
Oh, excellent.
You know,
That's so nice to kind of feel that freedom. But it's very hard to do because the mind's so persistent.
yeah,
Everything feels you gotta do. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just, it's not necessary to go over the to-dos, you can just do those in the moment. I don't need to, you know, um, do it first in my head and then do it physically.
Mm.
Mm. Beautiful blue sky there in California. Wow, it's like here
Oh
in
yeah,
New
yeah.
York is really beautiful too.
It's completely blue, but the weather is. We have been getting rain at I don't know, maybe 2/3 or maybe a third of the week. It's been rain, and then you get a lot of fog too, which is interesting. It was like going through clouds um, along the mountain at the base of the mountain yesterday. So definitely has been interesting weather. And I think it's getting to the part of the year where there will be rain and snow and all of that stuff for the next few months.
Uh-huh. Oh,
So in this area of California, it's not like it is in Southern California or the Bay Area. So there will be weather to to work into the mix over here. Okay. So
see,
go
see
ahead.
you, see you next time. Hmm?
Yeah. Yeah. See you next time,
Yeah.
Jen.
Okay.
Bye.
Co-
Okay. Bye bye.
via con Dios.
Ah. Okay. Bye. Con Dios.